Hi, here's the 2014 Toyota Highlander water pump. It started leaking and I took it out. Today this video going to show you the tips to how to make your job a lot easier and more efficient. If you have an all-wheel drive and you will have a drive shaft, there's a joint between the drive shaft and the transfer case, like here. If the moving part of the joint, in my case, is not parallel to the transfer case, which connects to the transmission and the engine, you may want to turn the drive shaft, which I'm going to show you, to make it parallel to the body of the transfer case. The reason is because you're going to raise the engine up, which also raises the transmission and the transfer case. And the drive shaft cannot move up with the transfer case. When the engine moves up, and it can only bend at the joint. By making sure that the moving part of the joint parallel to the transfer case, when the engine moves up, it won't cause any damage to the transfer case or the joint. Here in the opposite end of the drive shaft, there's a 14mm bolt. You can use a socket which helps you to turn the drive shaft. Some people say you don't have to do that because the joint moves both directions, but I just don't want to take the chance. Now the moving part of the joint is parallel to the transfer case body. If you have a 2GR-FE 6-cylinder 3.5-liter engine, you will have a problem removing the second to the last bolt that connects the engine mount to the engine. That bolt is super long and it will keep hitting the sidewall. I don't know why the Toyota engineer has to make such a long bolt. It's unnecessary. If you watch a bunch of YouTube videos and see how people struggle to take out the bolt, yeah, some people success, but it's going to take a while for me and waste my time to do it that way. I'd rather to raise the engine up, do some extra work to make my life easier. Here's a different angle of me struggling to take the bolt out. What a pain in the butt, man. And I finally give up. There are 3 engine mounts. You have to loosen the bolt underneath. This one is in the passenger side next to the wheel. There are 3 nuts holding the engine mount to the frame. And underneath you have 2 caps covering the nuts. I use a small pick to remove the plastic cap. Be careful though, don't damage the plastic cap because it's been there for a long time. It's getting brittle. And each cap costs about $5 from the dealer. So after removing the caps, you will see 2 17mm nuts and get a 17mm socket like I did to loosen it. And luckily mine is not rusted, so it's not that difficult to loosen it. In case if yours is rusted, get some BP blaster. It helped. It worked for me before. Spray on the rusted part and let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes and then try to loosen it. And there are total 3 nuts. You have to take it out, 2 behind the frame, which I'm trying to loosen right now, and then there's 1 next to the frame. And this is the one next to the frame also need to be loosened. So total 3 together. And I put all my nuts aside in the bag. Make sure you don't lose any of those. And this is another mount to behind right next to the axle, the CV axle. Some people try to loosen those 2 bolts, but I would rather to loosen the 2 nuts underneath the frame. Same thing. Remove the 2 cap. Be careful, don't break the plastic or the rubber because it's getting brittle and it's cost $5 each. These 2 are held by the 14mm nuts, so get a 14mm deep socket to loosen them up. Okay, last one is this mount in front of the driver's side, right on top of the frame. It is right in the front, so you have to remove the plastic shield underneath the car. For this one is only covered by 1 plastic rubber cap, and the other 2 are just next to the frame. It's held by 3 bolts. They are all 14mm and use a 14mm deep socket. It's way much easier to get a power tool to get it out if yours is not rusted. To raise up the engine, I use a regular transmission stand with a piece of wood underneath the oil pan. And I know some people use a jack. As long as you use a piece of wood underneath the oil pan, it won't damage the oil pan. And do it slowly and gradually. Here you show how high I raise the engine up. Here you see I put 2 fingers underneath. You don't need to go all the way and touch the top. Here's the 2 finger tall, or about 15 centimeter high. And there's no need to raise the engine up that high because you still have one engine mount that is not loosened. And you may damage it if you're going up too high. And here you see there's more than enough room to remove the last bolt from the bracket. So 2 finger tall gap is good enough for the long bolt to come out and also for the engine mount bracket to come out. Here you see on the right engine mount how tall it is lifted up. Here's the part that when you install your tensioner pulley, you need to pay attention on the dust shield. The circular dust shield is not flat, it's a concave shape. Here in the video you see the dust shield. The front and the back are not the same. You want to put it in this way and not the other way around. So this is the correct way to put in. And also you see the 3 dots on the outside rim is pointing outward. Make sure that. And the bolt goes right there. Okay? To tighten the belt tensioner pulley bolt, you need to turn counterclockwise. And if you turn counterclockwise, you look like this. It moves the tensioner and very difficult to get it tightened. And I found a way on how to tighten the bolt. And here's the trick. I'm going to show you how I did it. You turn counterclockwise to tighten the bolt and you will move the tensioner. And there's a little hole at the bottom of the tensioner like I'm showing you. You stick a screw above that side into the hole. It will lock the tensioner in its place and now you can tighten that bolt easy. You can turn it from the top or from the bottom like I'm showing you here from the bottom. Whatever make it easier for you to do the job. There are 4 nuts that hold the water pump pulley to the water pump and it's not easy to tighten it or loosen it. Here I have to use 2 wrenches and this is the trick. It's a 12 mm wrench, one on one side of the bolt, the other on the other side of the bolt. And if you have a longer one, it's a plus because it's very tight. So I have to make an extension for me to loosen the bolt. After the bolts got loosened, you only loosen 3 bolts. Leave all the bolts there and don't remove them because you need them as a leverage to loosen the last bolt. To loosen the last bolt, you need a long screwdriver like this one. Stick it across the 2 bolts that you already loosened to keep the pulley from moving, and so you can leverage to loosen the last bolt with the wrench, like that. When installing the gasket with the water pump, it's not easy to align the bolt into the mounting hole. Because the space is so tight, you can only use one hand, and you see in this picture, it's not that easy. I find an easy way to hold the gasket with the water pump when installing without sealant or glue. Here is how you do it. You see 2 rubber bands there, and you see the gasket and the water pump. I'll align them together correctly. Then I put 1 rubber band and wrap it around on one side of the gasket and tie them together. And use the second rubber band to tighten on the other side of the gasket. So this way, you see it will hold the gasket with the water pump and align all the holes together correctly, and it does not come off when moving around in a tight space trying to put the screw inside the hole. It really helps to make life a lot easier. Here I'm going to show you how I did it. Here I'm trying to align the water pump with the gasket, matching with all the holes in the engine, and try to put 1 screw in first. Doesn't matter which one you want to put in, but I've tried to put in the one close to the center of the water pump on the right side. Then put in the second screw on the other end of the water pump. This will hold the water pump in place, and now it will be easier for me to remove both of the rubber bands from the water pump. The rubber bands are removed from both ends of the water pump, and this makes life a lot easier. The last tip is the water pump bolt torque spat. There are 2 bolt sides that hold the water pump, the 10 mm and the 12 mm. The A's in the pictures are the 12 mm bolts, and C and B are the 10 mm bolts. Here I found the A, the 12 mm bolt, a 15 foot-pound torque, and B and C, which is the 10mm bolt, is 8 foot-pound of torque. Then I find another one which shows look like a service manual, have a different torque spec. It shows the 12mm bolt is 16 foot-pound of torque, and the 10mm bolt is 81 inch-pound of torque, which is around 6.75 foot-pound of torque. So which one should I believe? To play safe, I go with the one with the service manual, because I don't want the coolant to leak out from the pump. So the 12mm bolt, I use the 16 foot-pound torque. And for the 10mm bolt, I use the 81 inch-pound of torque. My water pump now is working, no leak, everything's fine, no overheat. Hope these tips help to do the water pump replacement job easier. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. Thank you.